Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, welcome back to the channel. It is a beautiful afternoon here at the Nürburgring. We're currently parked up just beside the Nordschleife to go for my first laps in the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. Now, I've just done my first laps in the STO, which didn't entirely go to plan, might have been a little bit noisy. So I figured to compensate for that, we should do two things today. The first is see if we can do a full electric lap in the hybrid SF90. I'll explain more in a second. The second is, of course, to then have the engine on and do it with 1,000 horsepower, which should be pretty good fun. It's Touristenfahrten here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. It's time for my first laps on the green helm, the SF90, and I cannot wait. Now, the SF90 is the most powerful car I have ever owned. It is the most powerful Shmee-mobile. It is also going to be the most powerful car I have therefore driven on the Nürburgring Nordschleife, which means let's take some baby steps into this one. 1,000 horsepower, it's Ferrari's first ever series production hybrid supercar. We have a 4-litre twin-turbo V8, 780 horsepower. We have 3 electric motors, 1 on the crank, 2 up front for 220 horsepower. And it's those 220 horsepowers that I'd like to use for the first outing before we then have a second outing all going to plan. Now, what's interesting about this is that the SF90's electric range is officially 25 kilometers, 16 miles. The Nürburgring Nordschleife Touristenfahrten loop happens to be 21 kilometers or so, a little bit shorter. 21 kilometers, about 14 miles. So in theory, if we're driving in a normal way, this should be able to go the full lap on electric power only. So that's the first challenge. Can we do it? Now, to get that, we actually need to get it full, and I haven't had it charged up overnight. So you can plug into back here, you've got the fuel filler on this side, you've got the EV charger on the other side. But what we do have is the ability to recharge very quickly when you drive it in qualifying mode. So we're stopped just down from Brunchen, one of the most famous corners here, because I want to take it for this little loop around first to get the battery charged up so that when we get to the Nürburgring for lap 1, we can see how it does on electric, and then we'll get the engine fired and do it in full power mode afterwards. So let's give this a go. Let's hop in, head on over, got to sort the tyre pressures out quickly and go do some laps on a very busy weekend here at the Nürburgring in the SF90. That is crazy to say. Let's go. There are a few ways to go about this. So when you start the SF90, you can then choose your e-Manatino position. So you could start it in full EG if you wanted, electric drive, get the words, now it's ready to go. Or you can press qualifying mode and it will fire the engine. The advantage of qualifying mode is that it maximizes the amount of charge. And on the drive here, I was fascinated by how that actually works. So if you look on the display, you can see we've got about 3/4 of a tank of petrol, and we've got 90% or so of the battery charge, currently showing 25 kilometers. But this on the drive from here over to the main entrance will go all the way to full battery. It will give us a little pop-up when that happens. So we're gonna head over to Apex quickly to lower the tire pressures. And on that drive, this should get that to full charge, ready to go out. Now, this is something I'm just intrigued by. I've driven electric cars on the ring. My first ever lap was with the Polestar 2, then I did it with my Taycan Turbo S a couple of laps. But there's something different about probably the world's first front-wheel drive Ferrari laps of the ring, because when you're driving in full electric, it just uses the front motors. The world's first electric Ferrari lap, possibly as well, and a bit of a challenge to see if we can actually make it to the end of the lap, because I'm not entirely sure if we're going to have enough. I think it goes up to about 28 kilometers of total range, but in reality, I'm probably going to be accelerating a little bit. And if I'm accelerating a little bit, we're not going to get that full range out of it. Now, it is super busy Easter weekend here at the Nürburgring, so we need to try and navigate around the traffic and the people here. I'm going to head out this way if we can. Problem with an upside down Ferrari steering wheel and where the indicators are, just making sure I've got the right one on. But what I find in here is that when you start driving, when you're in qualifying mode, the charge is super active. If you're accelerating gently, it's basically using extra engine power to charge up the battery in full. So there we see, it just notched up a little bit already, and I suppose in a moment, we're probably going to have it popping up saying that it's 100%, which is just kind of lucky timing. When you're in performance mode or hybrid mode, it will only use about charge it up to about 2/3 of the battery. Obviously, this is all to do with the optimization and management and how exactly they've decided to set it. But here, just cruising along, it's amazing to see. And when you lift off or when you brake or anything like that, it regens as much as it possibly can. So we're more or less at full charge. Like I said, I have seen it offering me 28 kilometers of electric range at one point. And we're just going to see how this goes. So let's go get everything sorted, get everything rigged up, and then it's time to take this car out for some laps on the Nürburgring at last. Here we go, out through the little chicanes. Now, at the moment, I'm still running the combustion engine to keep as much charge in the battery as possible, and probably just until we go under the bridge up ahead of us. And then we will go into ED, electric drive. So let's take this easy. It is a public toll road. Road rules do apply, which means keep it to the right-hand side. We are now in full electric at 100 or so kilometers an hour. Nobody behind me at the moment. I'm not actually sure what Vmax in electric is. Well, down the hill, we're going 130 kilometers an hour. There we go. That feels like an electronic limiter. 140, 139 kilometers an hour, 84 miles an hour. That's still above motorway speeds in any country other than Germany, I guess. But no doubt it will use a lot more electric doing it like this than it will if I was in the hybrid. Apex GT86. I think that's probably Robert. Okay, this is where I wish there was a little bit more acceleration though. Eyes on the mirrors at all times. I'll be overtaken on the left before we get a full combustion engine lap later. But here we are, front wheel drive Ferrari on the Nordschleife. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Now, Ferrari don't really do all that much testing and driving here. Occasionally they pop up with a car. But we're going through the hats and back sections with massive regeneration, obviously, every time I lift off or touch the brakes. But this is nice. You don't get very much early power on the electrics. We've already used 2 kilometers of our range. This must be so strange for anybody watching. Electric Ferrari. For my first lap with it.
Sorry, the item you have chosen, you have selected.
No, the voice control. I think it heard me say electric and the manufacturer name. Oh yeah, I saw 141 kilometers an hour there. I'm amazed there aren't more cars catching us. Absolutely amazed. So funny. These guys must just be like, what? How? How am I overtaking the Ferrari? Well, at the moment, you're not. Electric Ferrari, right up behind you. I just don't have the acceleration. Oh no, stop hearing me. I need to turn that off. I need to turn off the automatic speech recognition. Yeah, we're down to 13 kilometers now. That's not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. But regardless, it should be fine. The engine will just kick in. We've still got the Sport Cup 2s. We've still got grip. Going past the Mini. Wow. Past the Subaru. Through the slowest part of the track. Oh, that's so much fun. Oh, the speed limit section. Back into de-restricted, up the hill. This is where I would like a whole lot more. I'm not getting it. So we're at 10 kilometers in and we've used 18 kilometers of electric range. So the question now is how far around is it going to let us go before it does completely run out on us as we go through Bergwerk, around the outside of the Honda here. Gosh, when I've got the full 1,000 horsepower, this is going to be a different kettle of fish. Completely different experience. So I presume it's going to instantly kick the engine back in when it runs out. At the moment, it's the last 1 kilometer. Yeah, there we go. Oh, E-Manatino position change. We've got the engine, so let's go into qualifying mode. Oh, we can't right now. We've got to use performance until it's got a little bit of electric range back. Gosh, this just became a completely different weapon. My word. Oh, wow. This is a whole world of cling on tight now. So I think we got a little more than half, maybe. This is ballistic. This is absolutely ballistic. as we touched there on carousel, but hey, it's a souvenir. This is my car for life. And again, okay, and we're coming towards the end, and I know it's going to be busy, so I'm going to take it easy from here. Okay, I tell you what, when it got the combustion engine rolling, this thing was absolutely monumental. I think we're going to go instantly for lap 2. We've gone straight back through the shortcut because tyre pressures are all good, temperatures are obviously well in check, but let us pull out here, and yeah, away we go. My word. How is a car this fast? 250 kilometers an hour through the first compression. That, I've never done that before. Obviously the Senna is fast, but this is a different league of fast. This is absolutely ridiculous. The gearbox is wonderful in auto. We now go through Schwedenkreuz. Gosh, busy ahead of us. That's 280 or so kilometers an hour. Heavy on the brakes because of how busy it is here. Predictive brake doing its thing. This GT4 is absolutely on it as well. Is obviously amazing to see. The line of cars snaking down the hill to go through the foxhole. But sorry for that one series with so many cars coming past. Predictive brake at it again. So we come up through Adenauer Forst. The braking is actually really annoying when you're following another car close like this. Gosh, this car's brakes are good. Up the hill. We're quickly catching with the line of cars here again. And it's amazing to think that this car actually, auto braking, actually has basically full charge again in qualifying mode. So I'm driving it almost flat out, yet the charge is staying up. Style Strecker, so are we going to bottom out on the carousel again? That remains to be seen. Happens just because the car is a touch soft, so let's take it a bit slower in. Yeah, try and avoid that if we can. Hold it in, hold it in, hold it in. Oh, the instant power is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. This is a wild ride through Wipperman. Oh, feeling the G's. Moving around. Concentration mode. And I tell you what, we're not too far from the end now, and with a lot of traffic ahead of us, I'm just going to back it off and take it easily, we've actually got full electric charge. Back again, full, completely full. It's amazing how this works. When you put your foot down, how much instant acceleration you get. Tire pressures are also pretty high. It's ballistic. It makes you kind of really need to hold on how fast it goes. Just really, really, really cling on. Well, we did it. And it's scary fast. It's scary fast. This car, yeah, I just have to kind of stop and think a little bit because, my word. I've taken a little bit of time just to process all of this and to get some energy back, to be honest, because 1,000 horsepower on the Nürburgring is something to be reckoned with for sure. Now, the interesting thing about my spec of the SF90 Stradale is that I didn't do the Assetto Fiorano, which gives you the special Multimatic dampers. So my car is effectively the soft version, we could say, more suited to the road, and with the bumpy surface of the Nürburgring, that's really exaggerated. So combine that with the fact that I went for the road spec seats, the style upgrade seats, as opposed to upgrading to the even further spec, which is the carbon fiber buckets, and you have a car that is really road spec, not track spec. Now, of course, that is technically a road. It's a public toll road during Touristenfahrten, but it does mean that, let's just say, it's not as completely composed as something that's at home, specifically on the racetrack. Now, of course, I have in my garage a couple of other cars that are exactly for that purpose. GT Black Series, Senna, Ford GT, STO, 675 LT, etc., etc. So that's why I did the road spec. That's why I did this, let's say, comfort spec interior and gave it the rather lovely leather seats and, you know, just finished in an all-round very, very nice way, because that's what I wanted out of it, rather than full track spec, which I could have done and maybe could do on another car in the future. That's something to think about down the line. For today though, we managed more than half a lap on full electric. We didn't get overtaken by anywhere nearly as many cars as I thought we might at the start of it, and we got to find out that the top speed is 141 kilometers per hour, almost 90 miles an hour. Not all that bad, and quite good fun, and amazing to see how much it recuperated of that charge during the full qualifying lap that followed afterwards. And despite it being busy, props to that 718 GT4. He was on it, fantastic to drive behind him, even if with a little bit more of an open run, this could obviously get even quicker down the straights and, yeah, quicker around the loop. Anyway, for today, probably need to sit down, drink some sugar, get all of the blood sugar levels back where they should be. What an epic run in the SF90 on the Nürburgring. Properly welcomed into the Shmee Reveals. That's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you for your support. As always, it's really appreciated. And that's it for this time. I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.